Good evening, everyone. We're going to get started. This meeting is being held with the benefit of public notice as required by the Open Public Meetings Act. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Mr. Caravelli?
Here.
Ms. Phillips?
Here.
Mr. Carroll?
Here.
Aye.
Here.
Mr. Bailey?
Would everyone please rise for the flag salute and the invocation? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, we give thanks for the many blessings you have given us this year. As we arrive at the holiday season, please help us to focus on the things that truly matter and let go of anything that pulls us away from you. Help us to enjoy this time with our loved ones and to make lasting memories. As always, bless this township, and may we as a government represent the best interest of our community. We ask all these things in your name. Amen.
There has been an amendment to the agenda since it was posted on the website. There are changes to a couple of the resolution titles. CA 41 25-530 is now titled Resolution Authorizing Transfers in the Calendar Year 2025 Municipal Budget, $105,000, and CA 43 25-532 is now titled Resolution Authorizing the Execution of an Agreement for Donation with K Group Hamilton Venture for an affordable housing development in connection with the municipality's fourth round affordable housing plan. Can I please have a motion to the amendment of the agenda?
I'll make that motion, Council President.
I'll second.
I can go for it.
Mr. Caravelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Black?
Yes. And tonight we have our auditor here. I'd like to thank Mr. Suppley for joining us. And he's here to do a presentation of the auditor's report.
Thank you very much. My name is Bob Swisher. I'm a partner with Suppley Clooney Company. We just completed our first audit here in Hamilton. First of all, I want to thank you very much for getting me on first. We're out pretty much every night of the week, and it's very nice to be. Last night I didn't get home till 9:30 from a meeting, so I appreciate that. So each year, each town is required to have an audit, and it's an audit of your financial statements and whether you're in compliance with the rules and regulations of the state of New Jersey. So as auditors, we design tests and things like that to perform to determine if those things are true, in fact true. In our report, we have an unmodified opinion, which is a clean opinion. We did find some small areas of noncompliance that you'll have a corrective action plan to correct. One dealt with your outside liens and one dealt with your fixed assets. Not major areas, but they do require some cleanup on that, and you'll have a corrective action to take care of that later. Our work this year was again, it's the first year, so it took a little bit more time on our part, and we were able to work with the finance department to, not only establish that your records were in good shape, but we're able to do a lot of cleanup work, working with the finance office. Things have been lingering around in the books for years. They weren't wrong, but they needed to be corrected, and made a lot of those corrections. There's still more to do. We're going to work with the finance office to get that done going forward. Overall, the township is in very good financial shape. Your surpluses are at a good number. You have many reserves. Those are very important when you go for a bond sale. You get a rating, and as you have the new municipal building coming on, you need to keep your finances up. So your ratings, the better the rating, the lower interest rate. So you're heading in the right direction with that, and hopefully you can continue going forward with that. That being said, if anybody has any questions about the audit process or anything else, I'd be glad to take any questions.
Carabell, you have a question?
I was just going to say, we have some concern. There's some issues that popped up that we're going to address with a corrective action plan, I'm sure, that we have here before us this evening. So, but you didn't think that there was any major concerns that...
No. There was no malfeasance or anything like that at all.
Okay.
The books had entries on them that didn't belong there. Okay, it didn't affect the finances at all. What we were able to do this year is get it all cleaned up. You know what I mean? So the finance office will have a clean slate going forward, which will make their job a lot easier. We had all these other things out there. They had to battle those things and the day-to-day of operations. So I think, we really worked, spent a lot of time with the finance office, was able to get it corrected.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, I think the lack of findings is a testament to the work of our chief financial officer and her team. There's been a lot of work over the past several years now to, implement best practices to increase the transparency to the public. So I'm appreciative of the work that has been done in that regard.
Yeah, definitely headed in the right direction.
Thank you.
We were here a couple of years ago helping out in the finance office, and we saw when Eugenia first came in what it was like. It's like, wow. And so you guys come a long way since then. So you're in good shape.
You're going to acknowledge the acceptance.
That's later on. Yeah, I don't need to do that now.
There
Okay.
is a resolution further down on the
Right.
agenda.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you have a requirement to sign an affidavit as well, and that affidavit that the clerk will provide for you, and sometime after this, right, basically says that you looked at a minimum, what the recommendations were within the audit, and the corrective action plan that's a requirement of the state for the CFO to do on every audit, even with the mildest of recommendations.
Right. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
See you now.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Swisher.
Okay. So with that, we have our Board of Health meeting tonight, so we need to recess as the Township Council and convene as the Board of Health.
I'll make
Yep.
a motion for it.
Thank you.
I'll second.
On the motion, Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Todd?
Yes. All right. Welcome to our Board of Health meeting. Kathy, our Director, Kathy Fitzgerald, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us. Well, good evening, all, as always. It's with great pride and pleasure that we come before you to present to you our report from the Hamilton Township Division of Health. Our Division of Health is certainly dedicated to maintaining the health and well-being of our residents and visitors by means of prevention, health promotion, and education. This evening, we will provide you with an update on our public health goals and objectives, the status of national accreditation, and the accomplishments of the entire department for the year 2025. In our report this evening, our health educator, Veronica DeSisto, will update the board on the Division of Health's accreditation status and provide information on our community health programs. Our health officer, Chris Howig, will provide a general report on the township's health, along with environmental and public health state-mandated services, and of course, the Hamilton Township Animal Shelter. In preparing for our meeting this evening, I had asked Chris to continue to reach out to two of our most faithful animal advocates to ask if they have any questions prior to this evening's meeting. This approach hopefully offers transparency and provides all concerned parties with a clearer picture of the shelter operations and oversight. At this time, I'd like to ask Chris to provide you with a complete report of the Hamilton Township Division of Health for December of 2025. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Board of Health and residents. Normally I would have it up on the board, but I could not get the PowerPoint to display, so I apologize for the small print on the printed off copies. So as far as the agenda goes, I'll give a brief kind of update on what's going on in public health, then I'll hand it over to Veronica to give a health education update, and then I will close with the shelter updates. So what's going on in the news lately in public health? We've heard a lot from the ACIP, or the Advisory Committee on Immunization practices, immunization practices. It is respiratory virus season, food safety, especially as we enter the holiday season, and of course, it is the holiday season, so holiday survival tips. Starting with the ACIP, I'm sure a lot of folks, if you've been watching the news lately, have heard that there's been a lot of changes at the federal level, resulting in immunization changes, especially coming out of the ACIP and the recommendations that they are looking at making and have made over the last couple of months. A lot of these decisions have been unprepared. They've caused dysfunction. I mean, frankly, incompetent decisions and ultimately unhealthy decisions that will affect us here in Hamilton and Americans nationwide. Just this month, they voted to stop endorsing the birth dose of hepatitis B vaccine. This has been in effect since 1991 and has been contributes to a 99% reduction in hepatitis B infections in newborn infants. Delaying that birth dose, to what they are asking for, a month delay, it allows babies to fall through the cracks, and that's why we have a universal recommendation for all babies leave the hospital to get that birth dose. So that way we know that every infant that that goes home to mom and dad is protected, because the hepatitis B vaccine is one of the most safe and effective vaccines that we have, along with all of the vaccines that are approved at the federal level, go through a rigorous process. But this is something that is really unfortunate, and I'm glad that the state is taking steps to move away from the ACIP's recommendations and allowing the State Department of Health to make decisions on immunization practices and schedules here in New Jersey, and hopefully that passes at the state level. But for parents, when they have questions, what I would ask, for parents to do if they have questions about immunizations or the health of their children, if it's 3 in the morning, your kid is sick, who are you going to call, in the middle of the night? Most likely it's going to be your primary care. It's going to be your local hospital system. It's going to be those medical professionals that, you have in your life already. You're not going to go on social media. You're not going to follow, figure out, an influencer to get health information from. You're going right to the professionals that are in the field and local. And I would encourage residents, if they have those questions, to reach out to those professionals on a routine basis, whether that be us as your local health department, again, your primary care provider or pediatrician, your local hospital system, or medical organizations such as the American Academy of Pediatrics. Those would be your best sources of good, healthy, credible health information. Now that, it's also respiratory virus season, continuing on vaccinations, it is not too late to get your flu and COVID-19 vaccines. We are seeing an increase nationwide, and especially here in New Jersey, of influenza-like illness, which refers to coughs, fevers, sore throat, that general just sickness feeling that we get, especially as we move indoors and start, celebrating, the holiday season, and we're just, in more confined spaces, closer and longer. We are seeing flu increase, especially in school-age children. That's something that we have seen here locally in Hamilton. For sure, is increase in our school-age population getting influenza-like illness, and specifically the flu, and increasing in flu positivity rates. Here in the Northeast in general, wastewater testing has seen a spike for COVID-19 as well. So that is something that is starting to creep up, especially we've had a lull over the last couple of months, and we've kind of been in this kind of lull of, respiratory viruses, but the season is upon us, so it is now the time to make sure you're vaccinated, test if you're able to, stay home when you're sick, and wash your hands frequently and often with soap and warm water. Moving on to food safety. Our inspectors have finished their inspections of all of our licensed establishments this year, so they are finished with their calendar year routine inspections. But that does not mean that they're done. They continue to investigate if there's complaints or foodborne illness. They go out there, and then our mobile and temporary operations, they continue throughout the year as well. This year, we had 78 events. So if you think there's 52 weeks in a year. So they are out there basically every single weekend, every single week, making sure that when there are events hosted here in the township, that those food trucks and those temporary food vendors are being inspected. We had 347 total applications for mobile and temporary food retailers, and we've also investigated 72 retail complaints and illness complaints as well. And just as a reminder to all of our licensees, the licensing period starts January 1. For all of us, especially as we enter into the holiday season, keeping our kitchens and our food prep as safe as possible, we want to make sure that we are clean, meaning that we wash our hands and surfaces often. We separate raw meat and other foods, especially from cooked foods. We cook to the right temperature, and also that we chill and refrigerate promptly and don't let food stay out longer than it needs to. And it's always important, especially if you're hosting, is to keep hot foods hot and cold foods cold. And speaking of the holidays, it's really important, that we drop the food morality mindset. It's the holidays, have candy, it's okay. You can always, that's what New Year's resolutions are for. It's perfectly okay to cheat at this point. But you also have to keep your goals in mind. So if you're somebody who is fitness oriented or wants to get out, make sure that you're continuing to get your exercise. Eat your vegetables as well. Eat healthy as much as possible, but don't beat yourself up, especially this season. Be patient with yourself and loved ones. It is definitely a trying time, and it can also be a really tough time for residents, especially if they've recently lost somebody or they don't have a very large family. And it's important to prioritize sleep and hydration as well. Those are some of the best two things you can do to keep yourself healthy and not get sick this holiday season. So right now I'm going to turn it over to Veronica, who will give us an update on our community events and outreach.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Veronica DeSisto. I'm the health educator for the Division of Health. This fall, we had a variety of outreach and community wellness activities, including our wellness walks. We did one in Grounds for Sculpture, Veterans Park, so those are always fun events. We plan to continue them in 2026, so we hope you can join us there. We had several back-to-school events at our local schools. Of course, we attended Oktoberfest, which is always a great event for the division. We did our most flu vaccines at that event, so it's very popular for flu vaccines. And we also attended several community events at the Bromley Center, the Hamilton YMCA, the Light of the World Family Worship Church, and we did several heart health and hand washing programs and community health screenings in our community as well. And the health education section of the division maintains an inventory of support services, which is available on our website. So any resident that needs referrals to any services, whether it be food, social services, non-emergency health care, you can access this resource, and we would be happy to point you in the right direction as well. We also launched our new clinic van. So our mobile clinic, we had our ribbon cutting in September at the Hamilton Senior Center and have been able to take it out to several flu clinics this fall to administer flu vaccines within our community, and we plan to use it again in 2026. For flu and COVID vaccines this fall, we had a very successful flu clinic season. So far, we've administered 1,384 vaccines. That's throughout our public flu clinics, our child health clinics, and home visits. And we administered 115 COVID-19 vaccines. A majority of those, 97, were through a partnership with Quaker Ridge Pharmacy. They were gracious enough to attend 3 of our flu clinics, and we had a great response there. Any resident who still needs a flu or a COVID-19 vaccine, we do still have some in stock, so you can call us at 609-890-3884. We'd be happy to fit you in. And lastly, we are proud to announce that the division is a fully national accredited health department as of late August 2025. We joined the New Jersey Department of Health and 6 other county and local health departments who have this recognition in New Jersey. And our accreditation status will last for 5 years, and at that time we'll submit for reaccreditation. And this achievement reflects our ongoing commitment to excellence and has several benefits for our community. This includes strengthening our department internally, enabling us to better serve our community, promotes continuous quality improvement and workforce development, increases our capacity to respond to public health emergencies, and provides assurance to our partners and our residents that we're following the best evidence-based practices in public health. Thank you.
Veronica, I just had a quick question. So how many municipalities or towns in New Jersey are actually accredited? Do you know that?
6.
There's only 6.
Yes, so we're the 7th.
That's pretty
And
good.
the state.
So congratulations to you and your team.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Any other questions?
We'll hold our comments and questions for the moment.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Here is your plaque.
Very nice.
Maybe when we're done our meeting, we'd like a photo.
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's not our plaque, that's your plaque.
Yeah.
All of us.
You earned it.
But I'll have something to say about that in a moment.
Yeah, and just a follow-up, there's only 400 departments nationwide also that are accredited, and so that's it's definitely a kudos to the entire staff. I mean, they did a really, really great job. All right, so moving on to the animal shelter. So as of November 30th, we've had a total number of just under 500 animals that entered the shelter. We have had about 450 outcomes, meaning adoptions, reclaims, and transfers. We are about on par for last year. It should be about even year over year as number of dog licenses issued. We're just over 3,600 as of right now. And for animal control, field calls, or the number of calls and service requests they've had is about just under 4,300 this year. We continue to be meet the metric that qualifies us for a no-kill shelter. We have our live release rate of 96.4%. As of today, our census is currently 41 dogs. We have M+2 in foster. As a reminder, we have 36 runs. So we have 36 dogs in the runs, and then 5 are in crates. We have 59 cats in the shelter, and 13 are in foster. Each animal takes about 15 minutes or so just to provide the routine, just basic clean care, feed to meet their basic needs on a daily basis. So this level of animals equates to about 25 cumulative hours each day to meet the basic care of the animals. So that's about just over 3 staff members of worth of time just doing the basics. So that doesn't include socialization, getting them out for walks, or doing meet and greets and stuff like that. So just to keep that in perspective. As we end the year and enter into a new one, it is dog licensing season. So dog licenses will be available to start renewal on January 1st, and that will run through February 28th. After that, on March 1st, that is when late fees kick in. So I would ask all of our residents who have dogs to act early and submit an online application, and that can be found on our website. We are hosting 4 rabies clinics in the next couple of months. We just had one earlier this month. We'll have 2 in January, one at Switwick Park and one at Scully in the McManaman building. And then again in February and in March, those will both be at Switwick Park as well. Dog licensing for rabies, or to renew your dog license, your rabies rabies vaccine needs to be valid through December 1st of the licensing year. So it would have to be valid through December 1st of 26. As far as the breakdown of dogs in the shelter, we have 2 dogs that have recently been new arrivals, so that was yesterday and today, so those dogs have not been assessed yet. But we currently have 4 green dogs, which is basically the easiest. Pretty much, nobody, if you have no dog experience at all, you should be able to, handle those dogs or pretty easily. We have 12 dogs that are blue, and we're also talking with our trainer, consultant, and shelter manager to kind of split our blue dogs into kind of beginner blue dogs and more advanced blue dogs. we have to kind of work out what we're going to name it, name the classification, but we're thinking based on just some feedback we've gotten from the volunteers that, the category is a little too broad, and we have dogs that are kind of more advanced level, but yet not in the yellow level, which is a more advanced, and dogs that are whether stronger or have, very, more specialized types of needs that need to be addressed, and you need more skills to handle those. So for our blue dogs, we have 12, yellow, we have 16, and then our red, which is our staff only / rescue only dogs, we have 7 of those. Our volunteer program has grown leaps and bounds this year, and it's been a huge success. Just as of the end of November, we've had just under 4,000 total hours of donated time. So using the kind of national volunteer rate of $34.79, this equates to $137,000 of in-kind support that has been given to the shelter, which is huge. We've also been able to partner with Princeton University this year, and their students have been coming and started volunteering with us at the shelter on a regular basis this school year. And they've been supporting with on-campus events. So they've been hosting adoption events, virtual kind of adoption events. We haven't had any dogs go there, but the students have the photos up of the animals, and they've also been creating kind of welcome home kits for the animals. So they were able to donate supplies to help newly adopted dogs and owners have just the basics, treats, collars, toys, so that way all the dogs can go home with kind of a goodie bag. And also, cute little letters, thanking on behalf of each of the dogs, and cats for thanking for the adoption as well. And also we've been able to start with some corporate engagement as well. An example of that is Toll Brothers out of Morrisville came and did an employee, outing at the shelter, and they did a cleanup of our external pens, and then also did some prepared enrichment toys, wash dishes, and other odds and ends in the shelter as well, which was definitely much appreciated, and we're hoping that we can continue projects like that moving forward. And with that, I will hand it back over to you guys if you have any questions.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, everyone, Veronica and Kathy. So first of all, I want to congratulate the team. And Chris, I know you led the way on this effort to get this certification. And I really want to highlight how much work went into this and how beneficial this is to our residents to have a health department that has reached this level of certification and the best practices that were required to be implemented, the transparency that was required for this. So I want to congratulate you all. I want to thank you for the work that you put into this. And, the best thing for the residents now is we have to maintain this standard. Now that we've reached this, now we have to maintain it. Yeah. And so that's a great thing, right? Because now we have a standard of excellence that you have achieved that now can be the standard that needs to be maintained for years going forward. And I think that's a great thing for the township. So thank you. Yeah. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to make?
No. I said, Chris, the partnership with Princeton University, how did that come about? Was it just they had community service hours that they needed to take part in, or they were just animal lovers? And
so I guess the specific name of the student club is escaping me right now, but each year they choose one organization that they want to support, and this year they chose the Hamilton Township Animal Shelter. So they have been all in supporting us, and we're hopefully it's something that we can continue moving forward, whether that's with Princeton or other our other area universities as well. So
What a great idea.
yeah, it's been really, really nice, and it's definitely nice having a lot of, the students come in, and they've been very gung-ho and stuff. I had a video here. I'll share it with you guys later, but they created some videos and stuff of the events that they've been hosting, which is really nice. And they did a yoga session. They had 100 students there, and it was all supporting the shelter, and they were able to make a donation and stuff too. So it's been a great partnership.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Chris, with the dog classifications, any volunteer can walk the green dogs.
Correct. Well, I should preface that. So all volunteers, if you want to be a dog walker, you do have to go through our orientation and then our dog walking class as well before you can handle any of the
Take
dogs.
them out.
Yeah, and we have been working also with our trainer and the volunteers to do more skills-based and buddy classes to help our volunteers move up from, let's say, green to blue, blue to yellow. That way they have more experience. So it's something that we're hoping to continue and expand on next year. But over the last couple of months, that's something that we've been working on, hosting at least monthly classes to allow that to happen.
You anticipated my question, because that was kind of where I was going, right? The tougher the dogs are to handle, in some ways, the more important it is to get those dogs their exercise, so that they are reasonably manageable, well-behaved. And it's a difficult environment for a dog to be in on a good day, right?
Yeah, and absolutely. And as you know, just with the numbers, the vast majority of our dogs are not green, and they do take some a higher level skill to handle. Unfortunately. So. And
you have kind of a program that you're implementing with levels of training or proficiency to...
Yeah, we're still, again, it's new within the, between the fall.
On.
Yeah, so we're working on it, but it is something that we're working with the trainer and our volunteer coordinator to have more regular classes, and again, even pairing the volunteer with like a buddy dog. That way they kind of learn that dog and, the skills that, or the different kind of training or things that that dog needs to work on. So that way it's more routine and they get more comfortable with individuals.
I've learned more about the functioning of an animal shelter than I ever thought I would when I first got elected to office. And one of the things that I've learned is how many hours go into an acceptable minimum level of care for each animal.
Yeah.
There are a lot of hours, man hours, that go into caring for each animal. Some dogs or cats or what have you may be on medication. All of these things, the documentation that's required. And I have been an advocate, and in the upcoming budget talks, plan to continue to advocate for more paid hours, more employees, more staffing for you, because when we're relying on volunteers to walk the dogs, that's going to be hit and miss, right? It's just by nature of we have a few who are extremely loyal and reliable. And then, like most folks, when we're talking about volunteer activities, it's going to be hit and miss for most folks. So, and I think it's just to the best possible outcome to make sure that we're giving you the sufficient resources that you need in order to provide the level of service needed, right? Makes the dogs more adoptable at the end of the day. If we're getting them out, getting them walks, getting them exercise. So that's something that I'll continue to be looking at as we're moving forward. Now, I don't want to, anybody want to jump in with any other questions?
I just had a quick comment and question. First of all, again, congratulations on the accreditation.
Thank you.
We were all anticipating that, knowing the hard work that you guys have put into that. And fantastic new partnerships. That's just, again, a great way for us to get the awareness out there. I just had a quick question, which was, I know we've talked before about
coordinating the rabies clinics with licensing. Are we doing that at all?
Yeah, so normally, especially in the beginning of the year, we'll have staff on hand who can also process the dog license, especially now that it's moving mostly online. It's a lot more seamless of a process. So as long, especially if you can get your, if you're already pre-licensed and your information's all there and you just need to update your rabies, it should be a pretty seamless process. And we have different payment modalities and stuff, and we can process payments on site. Cash, probably not cash, just, because of the nature of it, but if it's electronic payment, then that should be fine.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Chris, I want to ask you about recent developments with Trenton Waterworks. I know this is not on your agenda, so I apologize for that, but it's always on our agenda until we get to a point where we feel confident in the service that's being provided to us. And I think that you guys are the best to have the discussion. Maybe Kathy jumps in or Alyssa jumps in as needed to help out, because I am kind of ambushing you a little bit, but and so I apologize for that, but I was made aware that there have been issues at Trenton Waterworks this week. There was another letter sent from the Department of Environmental Protection to Trenton Waterworks, problems with the ice clogging up the freshwater intake at the facility. Are you aware of this, and what can you tell us about this?
Yeah, so I found out about it yesterday, but I know that the township was notified previously, so I'll let the administration, they have their own channels of communication there. The focus of the health department continues to be on the Legionnaires and Legionella outbreak, which we unfortunately continue to see positives occur, in the township. Granted, a lot less than when I first started a number of years ago. But we do have one healthcare facility in the township that is still in an outbreak mode, and they still continue to routinely have positive Legionella samples in their water tests, and they test monthly. That's something that we work with the State Department of Health and the facility to kind of monitor that and ongoing. And just recently they had a raw intake positive, which was extremely high, which
What
is
does that
very
mean?
as far as it wasn't in the facility. It was coming from the intake of from the facility. So from the
Okay,
water
so
main,
that's-
from the water main into the building.
That's an important distinction, because usually Legionnaire's disease is specific to a site and has to do with the equipment on site. Isn't that true? Not so much.
The bacteria is what we're testing for. So we've had a handful of Legionnaire's disease cases, which would be, could be associated with, for this facility, if the patients are there, we know that they're being exposed to within the facility. But let's say if someone's home or community acquired, we don't necessarily know the specific location. So that's why we test, the water, whether it's in, residents' homes, if they're somebody who has developed Legionnaire's disease, or, a facility as well. So in this specific case, it's something that we just recently, they had, building-wide stuff, so it was in their internal plumbing system, and then also the external water main feeding into the building as well. And that's where we had a pretty alarming high level test positive recently.
And that has to do with the water not being treated?
There's a lot of ins and outs that go with it, but again, like you said, it's the water quality, the amount of chlorine residual that's in the water, is the water stagnant? What's the water temperature? Our water, especially during the summer, the cold water is pretty warm here, 70s, or higher sometimes, and that is just the perfect breeding ground for bacteria, especially if there's low chlorine residual in the water. So I know that Trenton Waterworks is aiming to have about, I think, a 1.0 parts per million, I believe, for chlorine residual to make sure that there is, that disinfectant that's in there. But unfortunately, that also leads to disinfectant byproducts, which is another issue that they've been having in Trenton Waterworks. And I know everyone here who has Trenton Waterworks has probably seen those disinfectant byproduct notification letters, because those are, exceeding what's allowable as well.
Well, I want to thank you just for giving us an update on that. Our residents are frustrated. We're frustrated. And, we have officially declared our support for regionalizing Trenton Waterworks. We have supported the administration's efforts to force that through legal action. And I want to say, I think the politicization of this issue is unfortunate because Hamilton is not trying to take anything away. The efforts that are being made by our government are to provide safe drinking water for everyone who's served by Trenton Waterworks. That's the end goal. And at this point, it does look like regionalization, having authority, shared authority over that, having the additional resources that we can make available, is the best path forward for that. So thank you for
clean drinking water. Everybody needs a clean, safe drinking water. We all use it every single day, multiple times a day. So it's the basis of public health.
Doesn't get more basic.
No.
So on that note, why don't we take a picture with our plaque? I don't think, well, let's actually, before we go to that, let's open it up to the public. We need to open it up to the public. For any questions regarding the topics that we've discussed, any questions or comments from the public for the Board of Health? Okay, seeing none, then shall we get a picture with our plaque? Okay.
I'll leave it out there so you didn't.
Stay right where you're at.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Roger. Thank you. Thank you,
Kathy, something we do every year at the last meeting.
No, thank you so much.
Okay. So with that, we need a motion to adjourn the Board of Health meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Who's taking that?
It's a race.
Seconded.
On the motion, Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Kara?
Yes.
Mr. Todd?
Yes.
Next for your consideration, we have the minutes of October 7th, 2025, regular council meeting minutes.
Questions or comments on the minutes? Have a
None.
motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Madam Clerk?
Yes, on the motion, Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Todd?
Yes.
4-0. Communication, received documentation to amend ABC's license 1103-33043, formerly TGI Fridays. This is a report of debtor in possession.
Now, debtor in possession, can you just give a quick...
The restaurant, as you know, went into bankruptcy.
Yeah.
So they had to submit, when they submitted the original application, putting them inactive and then in the bankruptcy, when as you'll see, they're transferring the liquor license in another resolution.
Yeah.
When they submitted the application, the individual that signed the consent to transfer was not listed, so they had to submit an amendment adding this individual so that they call it a report of debtor in possession.
So this is just to facilitate the transfer of the liquor license
Yes.
from the former TGI Fridays to the new owners.
Correct, which will be an inactive pocket license.
Okay. Okay. Motion?
I'll make a motion?
I'll second that.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Todd?
Yes.
That's 4-0. Next, we have consent agenda items CA1 through CA35.
So we have on the consent agenda tonight several reappointments, including a library Board of Trustees member who happens to be here, Iris Tanti. Iris, thank you for joining us tonight. We thank all the volunteers who serve on our boards. We appreciate that work that's done. The Board of Health, we have several shared services agreements on the agenda to provide services to surrounding towns from our Department of Health, the only one with the capacity really to provide these services at this scale. The residents from these towns will have been and will continue to come to our health facility right across the parking lot here for various health services. There is a resolution establishing a contract for a fire truck. It is a $1.1 million purchase, and I want to point out that we got a $1 million grant. And then getting this in under the wire on our last agenda gets us some kind of discount, so our net cost is going to be something like $6,000. The last time I checked, $9,000.
I think the 1.1 million is after the discount,
Oh,
and we have the million,
so it'll cost us
Cover it.
around $100,000.
correct, give or take.
Still pretty
It's a
good.
little- It's under 100,000, but it's
Pretty good,
excellent, yes.
pretty good price for.
So, right, the discount is around 300,000.
Yeah.
So it's a good deal.
And it'll take us, believe it or not, about 4 years to take delivery of this.
Unfortunately.
So this is one of those things where needed to be done. We have some trucks that have age and miles, and certainly we need reliable equipment for our first responders. So
Are we just putting in the order now? Does that clock start ticking now, or has it been ticking like the 4-year period that you mentioned?
So with your approval tonight, we'll put the order in, and then it will take several years at least, yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's the way that they are. They build them based on the specs,
Wow.
and that's the way it is.
Okay.
we are doing a 2-year extension to our grant writing contract. Has been well worth it. The cost of the grant writing is, let's see,
It's $72,000 per year. So for 2026, it's $72,000. 2027, it's $72,000. So it says 144, but it's actually split between the 2 years.
and so you can see we've gotten several million in grants as a result of the work. I know Joy Curlin, our deputy business administrator, has worked closely with the grant writers, and it's been a priority for the administration, but the grant writers have certainly well earned their fee.
Absolutely. And what's another remarkable piece of it is that a lot of those grants are, so new to the township ever even applying before. Some of them are ones we applied for before but didn't get, so with their assistance, we may have gotten some of them this time. So it's definitely paid off for us in the few years that we've had them. And I think you're going to get a report from the Assistant Business Administrator from Joy, probably at the first,
The reorg.
second meeting.
or the
I think it's
second.
the second
Okay.
meeting of January that tells what happened during the year and how many millions they were able to get us.
A broad range of services that we're able to provide that otherwise we wouldn't have been able to provide, including some health department money. So it's been very beneficial.
Very.
Any other questions or comments from council on the consent agenda items?
I'll just mention, it seems like a very good project, a good partnership by multiple different entities involved in the CA 43 affordable housing development. We have state, county, local nonprofit entities getting involved. The St. Philip's Bridge Community Development Corporation for the advancement of these 4 new affordable housing units in our township. So that's a win. So that's a good one.
It's going to be 4, based on the renderings, 4 beautiful new units in that location. So great that we're able to provide that land for that purpose. Okay, if there are no other questions or comments from council, we'll open it up to members of the public for any questions or comments. Yes.
Lisa Williams, I just have a question on CA 44. It's the corrective action plan. What are the recommendations in the audit requiring corrective action?
Yeah, there were a couple of items.
Okay. So on the audit for 2024, these are the exact recommendations, that the detailed analysis of outside liens and tax sale premiums be reconciled to the cash on deposit on a monthly basis, and then that the township maintain a fixed asset accounting and reporting system in accordance with NJAC 5:30-5.6. And so these are very minor recommendations in the whole scheme of things. And as the resolution for the corrective action plan addresses both of these and actually gives a timeline as to when they'll be corrected to the audit specifications.
What is the anticipated timeline for correcting these items?
So on the first item, that is going to be worked on all throughout 2026 and should resolve that comment for before the end of 2026.
Okay.
And then the second one, the fixed asset accounting, we do have a fixed asset accounting in place. We haven't done a fixed asset inventory in many, many years. And so I'm not sure anybody knows when the last one we did. However, we maintain that fixed asset list as the years go on. So what we want to do, excuse me, if council approves, is to bring in an outside consultant or contractor that will actually do a physical fixed asset inventory. But knowing that we are going to be moving from this building in less than a year into a new building, we're going to time it with that. So the actual fixed asset inventory and fixing this one may not be done until 2027. We're not sure we'd be able to complete it all through 2026, but that would be the goal. So there's a quick corrective action plan in place for both of these. And on the fixed asset accounting one, this is a very common comment in municipal audits throughout the state.
It's common in school districts too.
Is it? Yeah. So, so anyway, those were pretty mild, and the corrective action plan states that plan to go through, and that gets submitted to the Division of Local Government Services as well.
Thank you.
All right.
I have a question. Why is it a problem this year, but it wasn't in years past? Did nobody else ever see this, or this company came in this year and all of a sudden it's a problem and it wasn't a problem before?
I think it speaks to the thoroughness of, you know, especially an initial audit. This is a new audit firm that we have, this year for this audit report. And, you know, I don't want to say that it's a fresh set of eyes, but it's a fresh set of eyes. So that could be the reason. I can't tell you why it was excluded from others, other than things like the fixed asset accounting that we currently do may have been adequate enough for a prior audit. I just don't know. I don't know what was in there.
Any other members of the public? Yes, sir.
Good evening. I'm Bob Kudrick at 14 Melody Court. Was there a late entry resolution for a deed restriction lift on 6 Kim Valley Road today or not? I mean, I've read through the agenda. I didn't see anything in that list.
No.
Okay, because the different board may be looking at it. All right, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Questions, comments? All right, seeing none.
Council President, seeing none, I make a motion to close the public comment portion and move on our consent agenda, CA1 through CA45? 45.
Second motion?
On the motion, Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phil?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
And 4-0. Next, we have ordinance 125-027. This is an ordinance amending and supplementing an ordinance fixing salaries and other compensation of the officials and employees of the Township of Hamilton in the County of Mercer, County of Mercer, and State of New Jersey. This is second reading and public hearing.
And it is exactly what it sounds like. We're giving out some raises. Any questions or comments? Any members of the public with questions or comments? Seeing none?
Well, let me just add though, these are ranges, not, majority of these are ranges, if not all. And I think we haven't given out these raises in a couple of years, if memory serves me correctly. It wasn't last year that we did this, or the year before, correct?
I think the last time we did this, it was to set the ranges for 2 years' worth of salary.
Salary.
Range, right?
Yeah.
This one does the same.
So
It will
it's over
set
2
it for
years.
2025 and 2026. And so, and they are all ranges except for, I think, 1 or 2, which are statutory.
Statutorily.
You set that.
Yes.
Those salaries.
We're not able to raises out, set in the ranges.
Yes, in the range. Yes, correct.
Correct.
Yep.
Fair enough. Yeah, I know in most of the cases it was keeping pace with the market in order to be able to hire the talent that we need for the township. So if there are no other questions or comments from the public on that, I'll entertain a motion.
Council President, I'll make a motion to close the public comment and move on ordinance 125-027.
I'll second the motion.
On the motion, Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
It's 4-0. No.
All right, we will open it up to any members of the public with any questions or comments. Janice.
The Christmas order.
Janice, you are in the holiday spirit.
Yes, I am. I know I would be criticized if I wasn't, so I made sure I was dressed appropriately.
Not me.
Janice Lally, 432 Trinity Avenue, Cornell Heights. Okay, what's happening to that love stuff on 33?
Oh, I don't know what's going in there.
I don't need it. Not off the top of my head.
Anything will be an improvement.
That's true. I was thinking maybe they're making a bigger one or whatever. I have no
I believe
idea.
it was discussed already, right? At one of our planning meetings.
Presumably.
I believe it's going to be a car wash.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
there we go.
Next to the other car wash?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be
A lot of
interesting.
dirty cars.
We do have a lot of cars in Hamilton, to say the least. Okay, and then the other thing is, you did a very good job, Mr. Ty, being president. Congratulations. I like how you explained everything, and you were very sympathetic, and took the time to explain everything, and weren't upset with question upon question or whatever. And so thank you for doing an outstanding job this past year.
Thank you.
And on that note, I'd like to wish everyone a happy Hanukkah and a most Merry Christmas. Hope Santa treats you well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Janice, you deserve a gold star for perfect attendance, I think, this year.
Thank you.
I think you made a- And I saw a hand in the back. Come on up.
Yep.
Well, not anything. Keep it appropriate.
Good evening, council. My name is Rick Tamagno, 37 East Acres Drive. Here again to speak about the Bent Iron Brewery issue. It's still ongoing. I was hoping that Charles Whalen was going to be here tonight. I'm not sure if he had shared some of the videos that I had sent to him. He had given me his contact the last time. I just wanted to give you an update on some of the things that have been going on since then. I know that there were some members of our community that met with the owners. I don't know exactly, what was decided. I think it was all kind of informal, but they were going to try moving around some stages and things like that. But I live directly adjacent to it, and it's still been, a really, really big issue. It's ongoing problems. An example was October 25th. They had a large group of people up against the fence, like right up against the property with a mobile beer cart. So not only are they serving the alcohol in the main building, they're serving alcohol in different portions of it. And I don't know why they would have set up at the one spot when they know there's so many complaints going on, the closest to, someone that's been here complaining about that, as opposed to on the rest of the 43, or to 55 acres of property that they have. November 14th, that was the one that I had sent some videos. That was an event where we were told, I ended up calling the police that night. It was so loud. Anywhere in the house, windows, doors closed, you could hear it vibrate in the house. A lot of people in the neighborhood were bothered by it. I called the police that night. They came out. I mean, the guy was very nice, but it seemed like he wasn't even really sure what could be done in a situation like that. Like he was mentioning things about, if I could hear it from 200 or 300 feet away, they could get a citation. Well, he hadn't come to my house until after the noise was done. He said he went, over to them. He said that we would need to file, basically complaints to do anything about it, as opposed to, calling and having a police officer show up and, address it. And then he recommended that we contact the community policing group. One of the names that he gave us was this Detective Bob O'Hare. Now, we had met with Fred Dumont back in September, and Mr. O'Hare, or Detective O'Hare, was there at that time. He seemed really willing to work with us. He said he had worked with the Manor facility on 130 area and had issued citations and all sorts of different stuff. He seemed really encouraged. He said there was support to do something there. Since then, people in our group have reached out to him, and we don't know. I don't want to make any accusations, but they've heard nothing back from him. So there's been no. It feels like he was either told to stand down or he's not addressing these issues. I don't know exactly what's going on. I just wanted to know, why is that not working? If we're being, shuffled from one group to another group, we'd like to get some response from someone to know, what should we do when we're dealing with an issue. December 5th was the one that I sent about. There was this completely different. Zero music outside. I was trying to get ready for a surf fishing trip. I was putting some stuff on the top of my car. I was out there working for a while. For about 2 or 3 hours, there were groups of kids screaming at the top of their lungs, like a young girl screaming, boys that were cursing, some of the nastiest stuff. People, it's basically when kids have no parental guidance whatsoever and they're just running amok. And it went on for 2 or 3 hours. Never heard an adult outside. Never saw security. No one ever came to break it up. I didn't do anything because I don't even know, the last time I called the police, there was nothing that could be done. But it was completely unable to use the property. We were going to set up, do a campfire thing outside that night, but we couldn't do it. And then, is that my timer?
That is your timer.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, why why don't we put a pause?
Okay.
We'll give you another 2 minutes after other residents have had a chance to come up.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Any other residents with questions or comments? Well, Rick, don't go too far. You can come on back up and have your additional 2 minutes.
Rick Tamagno again, 37 East Acres Drive. I don't have a ton else to add, but it's just an ongoing problem, and we just wanted to, really, I was the only person that was available to come out tonight. I wanted to make sure that we're, still coming here, give you guys some updates about, the situation, and, we're still very frustrated. We feel like we're, struggling to try to figure out what we're supposed to do in this situation. It's really, at this point, it seems untenable to keep dealing with it, and we're not getting any really relief from whatever situation is that they are doing. So, we're asking the council or Hamilton Township to try to do something to address this issue. The only other one was this December 9th issue that was on a Tuesday night when they weren't supposed to be open. One of the neighbors right next to me was outside, and she had basically said that the music was insanely loud. She called over there to find out what was going on the next day, spoke with one of the owners, and was told that their manager had accidentally left the outdoor speakers on for basically the entire night. So it was just blasting music, and nobody was outside. The Hamilton Township teachers were having a party. So it's whatever's going on there, them knowing that there's been so many complaints, we're just very surprised that they're not taking a lap around the property, sending a person out, get these kids, it's feeling antagonistic in some ways that they know people are complaining about it. We don't want to accuse it, but that's how it's feeling. Like every time something is done, then they're firing back and playing loud music and setting up beer carts next to the property. And, so it's not going away, and we'd like to have something be done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Rick. Hold on a minute, Janice. Hold on. I just want to address some of the things, Rick. I'm disappointed to hear that there's an ongoing problem there. The residents and the owners of the facility came here. It seemed like there was an opportunity for direct communication between the owners and the management of that facility and the residents. If you have a problem that's causing a disturbance in your neighborhood, I want you to have no confusion. You can call the police, period. You can call the police. But given that there has been this line of communication opened up, you mentioned that this one evening, I was struck by this. One evening there were children being obscene and loud and obnoxious at the facility, and you listened to this for 3 hours without calling anyone, and my thought is, why not call over to the facility and talk to a manager or talk to the owner? Maybe they would have done something about it and just put a stop right to it, and you could have had a more peaceful night. So, my suggestion is try to work with the owners of the facility. If you're really not getting cooperation, right, call the police, right? And there's a record being created with these things. Work with the community policing folks. Work with the officer who you said was able to resolve things over at the other the event hall over in Yardville. So I'm sorry that this is continuing to happen. you know, they have this facility, it's on a farm, they got special permission to have this facility there, so they are within their rights to operate in that location, but at the same time, they did come here and express a desire to be good neighbors. So, you know, I understand your frustration. I'm going to encourage you to take them and their words when they were here at a recent meeting at face value, that they do want to be good neighbors, and try communicating directly with them. You know, when there's some disturbance, you know, that's causing a problem, give them a call. If that's not effective, then call the police. You know, and don't ever think you can't call the police when there's someone creating a disturbance in your neighborhood. Of course you can. So it does sound like there are multiple avenues available to you. We're an avenue. And, you know, I'm concerned that this is continuing to be an issue that we're hearing about. So we're going to have conversations about it this week to find out what's happening and why this continues to be a problem. So thank you for bringing it to our attention. Janice. On that? Or? Yeah. All right, sorry, Janice. We're going to discuss this a little bit. Rick.
Rick, what time,
Rick, can you come up, if you don't mind? We'll give you a little leeway just because we are kind of... Okay.
Just don't want you to mess up. What time, the one with the kids yelling and screaming, what time of the day was that? Evening, daytime?
It was up until 9 o'clock, so it was on a Friday night, probably 6
And how
o'clock to
old
9
were the
o'clock.
kids?
I mean, I sent those videos. It seemed like, 14 years old.
And they were
or
unaccompanied
something
by
like that.
adults?
And we couldn't see anything, didn't hear anyone, and no one came out. And I mean, if I was their parent, I wouldn't have let them scream. I mean, if the videos I sent, you can hear what the things that they were saying. It was like, the most vulgar things you could possibly hear, and this like little girl that was just screaming, blood-curdling screams. I was listening. I was like, is she okay? But then she kept screaming, so I think she was just, it was like the idea of someone, like kids just going to school and no teacher showed up. They're going to run around and just, I don't.
My question, it's going to be a legal question. What's the legalities of having underage people at a place where they're serving alcohol? Unaccompanied by adults?
No, I mean, I'm assuming their parents were there. The assumption is they didn't show up by themselves. The assumption is they were there with their families, and because they are allowed to be there. It's just like any other at Killarney's. When Bluey shows up, people with their families show up to Killarney's to talk with Bluey. So
they have a license. It's not a regular liquor license, but they have a license. They would want to protect that license and not allow children to be running around.
Well, children drinking illegally. That's
not what anyone's saying.
But there's
I may not have
difference. When you go to a restaurant, right? And I'm not going to use any names, but you go to a restaurant that's also a bar. They serve food. There's a reason.
And I believe Bent Iron serves food as well. They have like the food truck there, or
if there's no food truck, they're not allowed to serve food. So if there was no food truck, there's no reason for kids to be at a brewery. That's what I'm getting at.
I believe that the parents were all indoors because it was a cold night, and the kids were outside. They were like playing football. They were just playing football and running amok, and all the parents were inside.
So is there
never
issue with the kids being on the premises unaccompanied by adults when the place all they do is serve alcohol? There's no food. There's no restaurant. They're not having.
Right, but
what's the legality?
I think it's more, and I think you alluded to this a little bit, Rick, as talking about inside the area that's theirs, and I don't mean inside the building, I mean their whole property, right? They don't have anybody, it seems like, that is supervising it, right? And kind of doing rounds every now and then, right? To make sure that these things aren't happening, which I thought was a reasonable point. So, maybe that's an avenue that we can discuss with the owners and talk about that, because if they're going to have a big event, you know, do they have security there? And if they have security, what are they doing? And are they making sure that, right, there's not too many crowds of kids and, you know, or whatever, causing a disturbance. So, so we can work with the owners, and I'll take that point back to them as well. So, and maybe that would be the huge help, right? Just kind of an internal oversight on their business. You know?
Any other questions or comments? Questions for Rick before he goes all the way back to?
We'll call you back in a couple minutes.
I should sit right in the front there.
All right, thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
Janice?
Janice Clark, 432 Trinity Avenue, Cornell Heights. Now, I just comment, give you a star for your year's reign of everything you just said now. Very good. But also your point of unsupervised children. I mean, those kids got hurt out there. They could get sued and everything. So that's a point to that too, because, you know, having been a teacher, you know, there's times where the discipline is not there. Missing in action. So, no, I really think, I mean, this is like, what was the Polish American Club, New Yorkville, they had to have the noise monitors and everything, and the cops were there all the time. And we need to tell our police department not to get out of kink about over this. Yes, there's going to be a lot of calls. We're telling the gentleman and everybody else to call. That's what they need to do. And if the police keep showing up, the guy's going to start getting a little, hey, the cops are here every day. This is not good, you know. And so, you know, tell the police department, yes, you get out there quick, see what's going on when the call comes in to make sure you're a witness to the action. And so we can solve this problem like we did with the other one. So that, because this is ridiculous.
Where we had issues, and that's, you know, that was addressed. And
Right.
now we've solved that problem, and it took a little time.
Yeah.
It does take a little time with these things, but we're not going to let it go.
Good. I mean, keep on them. And, you know, like I said, notify the police department and say, hey, we're on this. We need you with us side by side. You know, jump out there as soon as you get the call, document everything, and then
You know, and the
hopefully
fact is,
don't it.
the owners of the business did show up here and did express a willingness, and I'm still hopeful that, you know, they can take corrective action and not be a nuisance to their neighbors. That's
Yeah,
my
but
hope.
that's like, you know, that's why when he brought this up, I'm thinking, they seemed like they were going to solve everything and everything was going to be accommodating, you know, do unto others, you'd have them do unto you, you know, and they seem to be very accommodating, but I don't know what happened there, so we have to
One way or the other.
have to remind them. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see. Did
I speak in public comment? No, I have something to say.
come on up? That wasn't my question.
You have your question?
I don't have a question.
Lisa Williams, Briner Lane. I have a question. Don't we, in our nuisance ordinances, don't we have something to address this issue in which the business is not complying with our municipal ordinances?
Yeah, we do have a nuisance ordinance, and it you know, they could be charged with a nuisance violation, and it goes to municipal court.
So it seems like maybe that's the way we need to go. I've been absent. Sorry, I've been kind of busy. Haven't watched every single meeting. Don't have time. But seems like this has been going on. The gentleman did say that he reached out to the police officer who addressed the situation at the manor and wasn't getting responses. So the business knows it's a problem. Whether they said they were going to comply or not, they're not. And it's a quality of life issue for people who live there. And can kids be at these things when there's no food? Yeah, there's another brewery in Mercer County that has things, doesn't serve food, might not have food trucks, but they have social events like gingerbread houses, knit night, and people can bring their own snacks and hang out even if you're not drinking. So
Didn't sound like these people were being very productive.
they were not being very nice, it doesn't sound like. It doesn't sound like they were knitting sweaters or making gingerbread houses. But
We wish they were.
we wish they were. So maybe our township can address the ordinance or use that as a tool to the management that you're violating our local ordinances and affecting the quality of life of your neighbors. That's all I want. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Dorothy Upshur from 739 Johnston Avenue here in Hamilton. I just have a quick question. From the snowfall on Sunday, there was a large tree branch that fell from the neighbor's yard all the way across the street. And it's kind of like garden in front of my house. And PSE&G came out that night because some lines were down, and they moved the big portion of the tree out of the street, but still half the street is still blocked off. And they got the red tape, the yellow tape, everything is there. So we called PSE&G, and they said, we'll take care of it. It's still there. And it's one of the main streets there where the school buses everywhere have to come and turn around. And some of them is turning around in my driveway. And I just don't understand, either the neighbor needs to move the tree, if that's the case, or something needs to be done to unblock that street.
What's the address?
739 Johnston Avenue. Thank you.
I can address it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Questions, comments? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Hold my peace. Aubrey Molinetto, 329 Wilson Avenue. It's so good to see many of you tonight. I just want to know what direction I should take. Many of you know that we've had a tyrant on Wilson Avenue, 339 and 341. We're still dealing with that. Now it's escalated though. So we went through mediation, and I was being verbally attacked with racial epithets, being called the N-word in the past. Now, starting on Halloween, I was called an effing coon. So I'm Italian and Puerto Rican. I don't have the same understanding and the same hurt and pain that word has been inflicted upon my African American brothers and sisters in the community. Also, I am a minister in an African American, predominantly African American Baptist church. This is very hurtful. My son is African American mixed. My pastor comes to my house, my church members, my friends, my family, they come to my home, and this is what I'm dealing with. I thought the mediation would help resolve this. It has not. I really don't know what other course of action to take, because I have written about it. I brought it to the attention of the council, of the mayor, of everyone in the past.
I don't.
Not the
Okay.
Alyssa, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
our
Yeah,
counselor.
your
Right,
counselor,
okay.
I apologize. So it's just very hurtful, it's very shameful. I'm a peaceful person, so this tries to provoke me to do something different, and I'm at a loss for words. But I know 2026, this cannot continue to go in this manner. So I didn't want to have to say anything, but I'm never really here. I work 2 jobs. So I'm hoping that we can.
So we have been prosecuting in municipal court, and the cleanup should be effectuated as of now. That was promised, that we were in court recently, just a few weeks ago in December. So the issue of the status of the property should be handled. I don't know what mediation you were involved in. I don't know if that was that related to a lawsuit that you had separately with them, or that just sort of...
No, the judge, because I had written well, you saw everything that I submitted, and part of that was racial epithets that were being inflicted upon me, and our judge felt that, you know what, you all are neighbors, you should get along. I was pretty new in the community, still very new in the community. I've only been there for 4 years. Actually almost lost my home to foreclosure, so I had to take another job and everything. So this is a home that I'm very passionate about keeping. Many of you know that I lost my husband, Luis, 5 years ago. I just celebrated his death anniversary in October. And I moved to Hamilton because of our mayor, my pastor, my church community, and I'm alone out here. My family's in Rochester and Kentucky and Roselle and Long Island and so on and so forth. So this is my family out here. And it makes it really, really easy to have the help and support and the love from my church family and, you know, from work and also working at the county level and being so close in proximity to my job and so on and so forth. And I want to be an active, positive part of Hamilton's history. And it makes it very, very discouraging when you have to deal with this. And every day you walk out of your house and you're dealing with some kind of something. And I'm already dealing with coming out of depression and deep grief and stuff like that. So to have to come out and walk in and walk out and, you know, and hear that. And then they're very slick about it. So they don't do it in the proximity of my cameras. They do it further off, so it's not capturing it, but the berating is so vile. And because like I said, I had to look it up. I didn't know what that term was. And I thought she was calling me a raccoon. I mean, I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm like the cat lady. I have 6 cats in the house, like, you know, so it's like, I was like, but I don't have raccoons, I have cats. So, you know, I was just like, what is this all about? And then I had to seek support from my community, and I'm like, I don't get this. What, are you that hurtful and hateful?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
You said this was,
I'm sorry. Oh.
you said this was in court, in mediation in front of a judge. Which court was this in?
We went to our court, and then they sent us
Hamilton Municipal Court?
Yeah, and then our judge sent us to the state level, and a mediator spoke with myself and Mike Bianco, who lives across the street from us, and the Price family.
When was this in court in Hamilton?
Last year, Alyssa,
Yeah, so it's been an ongoing situation.
Mm-hmm.
She's talking about one of the previous times we prosecuted them for the condition of the property. We have since been in court again because there was a settlement agreement which was violated. So I reopened the case and prosecuted again, which was then. So it's since been cleaned up. So she's talking about previously. It was a year and a half ago.
Right, but in my reporting.
And a complaining witness.
So the mediation was in reference to the cleanup?
It was not in relation to any of it was in relation to just getting along as neighbors. It was not related to the settlement that I negotiated with their counsel.
Okay, just trying to understand.
Yeah, because it had been documented, again, about the racial epithets and the threats, and they had put, when I first moved in, they put a sword on my lawn. I didn't know what that meant, you know. So it's like, it's a bunch of crazy different things that have been happening. You know, my son comes out of the vehicle, oh, there goes the neighborhood. You know, he's African American, so it's like, you know.
Is this one homeowner?
It is a mother and a daughter.
Yeah.
They own two
properties.
family house, yeah, and so mother and daughter.
Yeah, it's bad.
I'm sorry that you're going through this. That's a terrible thing to have next door to your home. I have to think there's additional recourse.
There probably is, and unfortunately, I'm not her lawyer, so I can't be giving legal advice from the dais about what could be done. But there are things she could do, if she speaks to her own lawyer, or?
I don't have the financial advantage of getting a lawyer at this point, and I think that it just would further exasperate the situation. And so I have ways that I could probably think of handling it, but I don't want to have to go there. It's not violent, but it would probably speak to the nature of what all is happening and draw light to the situation. And I don't want to have 6, 11, and 12 news at Wilson Avenue, right? Because then that's how things get moving. I don't want to have to do that. But it's really bad. It's really bad. And I wanted to just bring it to the attention so maybe it could be put on record or something, and then I'll go look and see how else it could be resolved.
You could always contact the Mercer County Bar.
Okay.
What they say. There are ways that
This could be done.
that you can do this.
Because the unfortunate thing is once you do mediation, you can't bring up anything from the past.
I was going to ask, is
Mhm.
harassment laws,
I
I
don't-
think, that
I don't know if
being
that's-
violated?
That's
That's
you're
what I
getting
was
into specifics that we're not going to be able to
Mhm.
speak to. So
Yeah.
I don't know that that's correct or incorrect. And even Alyssa, with all her wisdom, and we rely on so much, isn't going to be able to speak to that. I
329 Wilson Avenue is my address, and then 339 and 341 is their address.
well, I just have to think. I mean, have the police been called?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The police, I mean, like, I'm at a point where I'm just going to feed them, have them, you know. They
Okay.
called they called the fire department, you know, if anybody likes their fire pit, and we have it safely, you know, that they call the fire department, so they use the services, the resources of the township against the people that are just want to live a little bit on their block, you know. It's not good. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's been going on way too long.
No address.
I can, yeah. My phone number is 609.
Well, don't. Yeah.
Don't give to
Don't
YouTube.
put it.
Don't give to YouTube.
This goes on YouTube. We don't need you to. We don't want you to.
We're like, no.
Okay. Okay. So, anybody else with questions or comments? Okay. In that case, we're going to close the public comment portion and move on to council comment.
I was there, I found a question for you with and the delivery, you know.
I'll go first. It's unusual for me to go first. I'll go first since I just want to say thank you. Thank you to the residents who bring issues to our attention. We don't always have instant solutions, as you can see here tonight, but we do take your concerns and any issues in your neighborhoods very seriously, and we are here to help. But today is my last meeting as council president, hopefully, and for now. And I'm looking forward to passing the gavel to my colleague, who I'm not going to name at the moment until he decides he's going to accept the position of president. But I do want to say thank you to my colleagues. I appreciate all the work that you have all done for our residents this year, your responsiveness to the issues. I'm sorry that Councilman Whalen couldn't be here. Councilman Whalen is a very responsive councilman. He's very much a roll up the sleeves and get out and into the neighborhoods, and when there's a problem, go see it firsthand and you know, work towards solutions. And that's every single member of this council, true of every single member of this council. It's been a pleasure to work with the mayor, the business administrator, our attorney, and the entire administration this year. You know, it's gratifying to see government moving in the right direction for our community, taking effective action that's going to, you know, for example, the improvements with the health department, that's legacy stuff. That's an improvement. Having that certification, that's something that is going to have a positive impact on our community for years to come. And that's one example of the reforms that have been put into place, you know, across government in Hamilton. So I'm proud to have played a small part as council president this year. I look forward to continuing to serve our residents, and you know, I want to wish everybody a safe and happy holiday season.
I gave you my additional 2 minutes because you went over.
You want me to go next?
Go ahead.
All right, I'll go.
I'm sure Pat was serious enough.
Yeah, he did.
I wasn't, but I will.
Okay. Just want to thank you, Council President. Rick and I have a strong relationship. I know it's a little bit more. There's a little bit more work involved in being a Council President. Obviously, you have to be well read on the agenda and know the ins and outs of everything that's coming from the administration. And I know that Pat, as the vice this year, you did a nice job of backing him up on those things. So very nice job in letting the voices of our public be heard throughout the year. And it takes the voices in the public to be involved in our community to make it what it is. So Iris, thank you so much. I know we have Gloria here. Thank you so much for all you do in the community. We have a whole bunch of folks that have given up their time to volunteer. They're not getting paid, but they're passionate about Hamilton Township and the place that they call home. So thank you, Council President, for all you do. To our team, another wonderful year. I love working with Allison and Britt and the crew. They do a phenomenal job in the clerk's office. Kathy, you're always ready to go, and Alyssa and Jen. So thank you so much for all you do this year, and Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. Have a great holiday season with your family, hopefully, and we'll see each other in January. Thanks again.
Okay, you guys are two tough acts to follow. A lot of what I was going to say has been said, but first and foremost, thank you to everyone for being here tonight, for bringing these issues to our attention. But it is the conclusion of our year, and I do want to thank Rick for his great leadership as president this year, great communication, clarity in responding to any questions of the agenda, and responsiveness to our residents, and of course to our Vice President, Pat. Again, I won't say anything about next year, but let us pass the baton. But thank you for your leadership as well, and it's been a great year. Like Anthony said, I want to thank our residents and congratulate them who are appointed and reappointed to our boards and our commissions who volunteer their time. You know, it amazes me when I look at Hamilton Township how much our residents are invested in our community, and it's a pleasure to serve you. So, and to our team, our administrative team and clerk's office, thank you for always being so supportive. And Allison for putting up with me and my tech issues. So with that, I just, you know, I hope everything gets better. We're definitely going to respond to what was said tonight and has been ongoing. That's what we're here for. So I just want to say thank you, and I hope everyone has a great holiday season, and we'll see you next year.
Thank you, Councilman.
So last month, I spent a lot of time on my entire closing comments and complimented Rick. So I'm going to keep that part very brief. I want to say thank you. You know, usually with the end of a year, we get the chance to start over. With the momentum that we've built, not just in this past year, but in the past 6 years, I'm not looking to start over, looking to continue what we've built on. The team that surrounds me is second to none. I'm not saying it because you're here. I brag about all of you, and that includes our guests in the audience. Janice, Lisa, Steve, you guys are the lifeline to us. You give us information, you keep us on our toes, you're our checks and balances, and we don't say it, but we appreciate you. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate all of our visitors here tonight. Iris, you know we appreciate you. You're always around, and we appreciate that. Thank you. Next year is going to be interesting. One thing I am looking forward to starting over is starting over in a new building. Hopefully it's the last December that we have to look at the wallpaper on these walls or the wood paneling from the 1970s. But in all honesty, thank you to my team. I couldn't do anything without you. I lean on all of you. I wish Chuddy was here so I can give him a hug, but he's not here tonight. But we are thinking about him and hopefully see him in the next couple days. So I'll turn it back over to you and say thank you one last time. I know I probably drove you nuts with a bunch of my questions and showing up late to meetings, but thank you.
Thank you. And with that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.